All right, we're out at the home of Jason and Jenny O'Brien. Did for some work for them way back in the day in town. We did some siding, and they've since moved out here. And we are looking at doing some windows, and also we don't know which direction we're going to go yet. By the time we measured everything, we're going to have to reconvene on like a Zoom call. But we don't know whether we're going to go Vistamark or Marvin. Jenny's whole idea here is just to modernize the house. So I just kind of want to refresh and, bring up the look of the house, but not go overboard, obviously. So that's kind of what we put together here. The house already has James Hardie siding on it. But the only thing that's Hardie is the soffit and the sidewall siding. The batten strips, the fascia, the corner trim, the window trim is all 1x4. Excuse me, I'm looking at the windows. The trim is all wood. So the 1x4s around the windows, the 1x4s on the corners, and all the 1x2 batten strips are all wood, and they're all starting to show wear. Whereas the material that's Hardie plank still looks good as new. So, we talked about full replacement versus maybe doing a conservative approach and just, getting everything that's not Hardie up to Hardie, upgrading it to Hardie, and then doing paint. So that's kind of where we landed. Jenny really liked that idea, thinking of going with like some, a very stark kind of white, both for the windows and the siding, which would really, give it a nice little farmhouse look. So that's kind of where we're at. So I measured all the batten strips, so I got a total linear feet of the 1x2s, which would become 1x3s with Hardie. All the window trim, doing a fascia overlay, and then painting everything. So all the sidewall siding, the trim, the porch ceiling, front and back, would all be painted with a new color, a new coat. So that's what we're looking at here. And that's what I measured for. So again, all these batten strips, all the corner trim, the window trim, and the fascia would all be done in Hardie plank. And we talked about the fascia. We would do an overlay there. We're not doing a full replacement. On the batten strips, the corner trim, the window trim, we would be doing a full replacement. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. Again, gorgeous house, amazing property that backs all the way up to the river. Just beautiful piece of property out here, which she said is what brought them out here, was the property, not necessarily the house. Still a very cool house, but the property is pretty amazing. So that's what we'd be looking at. Is we designed some window options that she really liked. We're going to put it together, like I said, both ways with Vistamark and Marvin, with the factor there being just casements. They really love casements, so wherever we do single hungs, we will alternate in the casements with Marvin and give them an alternate price on the Marvin windows. So that's kind of what we're looking at. But again, full replacement of all the batten strips. Every single inch of batten strips would be replaced with Hardie batten strips in a 1x3. All the 1x4 around the corners, the 1x2 on the interior corners, which I think in some cases is 1x4 here, but we would do 1x2 on the interior corners. And then all the window trim, I think I said corner trim, everything else that's 1x4 that's not Hardie plank now would become Hardie. So that's what we're looking at. And then we do an entire paint job on everything but the, of course, on the stone, on the rock. They want to talk to, I'm going to give them Gilbert's information so they can have maybe some grout work and do kind of a heavier texture, kind of smear kind of thing on the grout, just to give it a kind of a different look instead of the smoothness that we see now on the stone. So, but we have, as you can see, the batten strips kind of look like they're, having a little age. Meanwhile, the siding behind it looks good to go because it is Hardie plank. So again, all the trim would become 1x4 Hardie. The batten strips would become 1x3 Hardie batten strips, and then fascia overlay, and then the soffit, the porch ceiling, everything's already Hardie plank. So that we would just paint, which is pretty cool. Save them a bunch of money as compared to doing a full Hardie job. We do have a bunch of dormers in back. I'm also going to be pricing a door renovation. Try not to fall in the empty pool here. But this single door up there, it's an 8-foot door. Basically, this door with the 3 windows would be converted into a big 4-panel configuration. So I need some help with install on pricing that, but that's the idea that would be part of this project as well, would be converting that door and those 3 windows into a single 4-panel configuration right up here. So that would be part of it. On the dormers, obviously, those windows would all be replaced. Same thing up there. All the 1x4 corner trim, plus here we have a 1x4 transition board, it looks like, to the metal roof. So we would pop that off and then put on a 1x4 Hardie right along the roof line, which is going to be important, obviously, because it's right along the roof line there. So it looks to me, it doesn't look like it's a flashing element because it is painted. I don't know, without being up there, I could be mistaken, and maybe it is a flashing element. It would make sense that it is. It just doesn't look like it from down here. And I'm talking about where the sidewall transitions into the metal roof. So if that's 1x4, that would be replaced with 1x4. If it's not, and it's just a flashing element that's painted the siding color, then we would just paint that and leave that intact, obviously, so we don't cause any kind of water infiltration. But all the window wraps would be Hardie 1x4. We would do fascia overlay on all the dormers. And then all the batten strips would be replaced with 1x3 battens. The corner trim on the sides of each dormer would all be replaced with Hardie 1x4 as well. Then moving down to the second level, where all the windows and that door conversion would be, again, all that trim would be replaced with Hardie, including around the new door would be Hardie trim. And it would be an 8-foot tall door, and I think the total dimension when it's centered, I think would be 154.5, if I'm not mistaken. That's all written down. So that's what would happen up there. All the window trim, the corner trim, and the batten strips would be replaced with Hardie. Now these 2 windows here, there's also this window on the side over here. It's in stone, but it is a 1x4 around the window. So even these couple windows they're all garage windows. The whole first floor is garage, since it's deemed as a floodplain. All these surrounds would be replaced with Hardie 1x4. So even though they're in, and like I said, all the windows on the first floor in the garage, even though they're in stone, they would still be replaced. The window trim would be replaced with the Hardie 1x4. This door as well would be replaced with Hardie 1x4 trim. Same thing here. This is in siding though, so of course naturally that would all be replaced with Hardie 1x4. We're not doing anything underneath here because it's all rafters and it's not painted, obviously. That porch ceiling, the upper porch ceiling, that would all be painted. So none of the railing or the columns, anything like that, but all the house color would be painted. So all that porch ceiling, soffit, and sidewall would be painted up there. This little bump out, I think this was like where their Jenny said where their air handler is and all that. So this room, little addition room right here, that would all be painted. 1x3 batten strips replaced. Corner trim replaced with Hardie 1x4, and the door wrap would be done with Hardie plank instead of that really thick trim that's on there now. As we go around to the other side, got a couple more windows here. So again, here same thing applies. Even though this window's in stone, it's still going to be retrimmed. That face trim, 1x4 that clearly goes all the way around the window, that's going to be done in Hardie 1x4. Up here, obviously some degree of difficulty, 1 because of the height, and 2 because of the metal roof. So that's going to have to, that has been factored into the project for not only windows, but for the painting as well. Because it all is standing seam and there's some pretty significant pitch to it. So you got some degree of difficulty in there for sure for painting. Again, same thing, all the batten strips. We have all the window trim, the corner trim, the inside corner trim. So this area, and on the opposite side of this bump out, there's another interior corner. All that is going to be done in Hardie 1x2 or 1x3 actually. And then the exterior corners, this corner and that corner all the way up, those will be done in Hardie 1x4. And then of course all the windows would be retrimmed in Hardie 1x4. On to the side. These no more windows in stone. Everything's up. A couple tiny windows here. Little clear story windows. So again, those will be replaced. Window trim, corner trim, both exterior corner and interior corner trim would be replaced. And all these batten strips would be replaced with the Hardie 1x3 batten. And everything would be caulked and sealed and painted when it's all said and done. Coming around to the front again, we got these. Again, this is going to be some pretty significant, you know, that's probably 30 feet up, so some significant scaffolding there. And again, all window trim, all exterior corner and interior corner trim, and the batten strips would be replaced. And then we would do fascia overlay, just as we are everywhere else on the house. This little front porch ceiling would be painted, fascia overlay on the little awning, and again, everything would be painted. Again, we didn't talk about any of these columns, any of the dark wood. We didn't talk about that. We're just talking about everything that's the house color or fascia. So, and as you can see, it's pretty good up to the peak there. That's probably, again, about 40 feet. So definitely needs some scaffolding and much higher than average degree difficulty up there. So that's what we're looking at. I'm looking at doing a modified scope, you know, again, to not shortcut anything, but again, use you know, kind of some design and color changes a little more wisely to prevent the, you know, the need to do a full siding change out. Just doing kind of some things to, one, eliminate the maintenance factor, and two, give her, you know, that more modern look that she really wants. So I think we're on the right track. I think we got a really good plan. Just need to put together the door remodel and both options on the windows, and then we can reconvene on a Zoom call. So again, down here, both these garage door frames would be wrapped in Hardie. Kind of like the fascia, we wouldn't tear out the garage door frames, we would encase them in Hardie plank. So that's basically what we're looking at. So again, Jenny, I'm going to get all this information together, and Jason, unfortunately didn't get to see you today, but I'm going to get all this information together, and then we can have some more discussion via Zoom. But really appreciate your time today, Jenny. Thanks for going along with all the design ideas that we talked about, and kind of working together on that, and look forward to sitting down to talk about this and seeing what we can work out for y'all to get y'all what you're looking for here. Again, thanks so much. Look forward to talking to y'all soon.